Alright, the next video we're going to talk about is when you have dividing of powers. Alright, so let's take a look at the notes and see what they look like. Here's your notes for Exponents 5. Let's get it bigger so we can see it all. Alright, Exponents 5 starts off talking about the quotient of powers. Now remember, quotient is the word for divide. Alright, now we're going to talk about dividing powers, because last time we talked about multiplying of powers. So if you think about the difference between multiplying and dividing, you see that they're exact opposites. Well, if you remember when we did multiplying of powers, we added the exponents. Well, oppositely today, you'll see that if you have dividing of powers with the same bases, you simply subtract the exponents, just like in that example right there. Okay? So I want you to ignore this for just a second. In fact, I'm going to cross it out. Let's go straight to some examples. Alright, example number 1. We have a to the 7th power divided by a to the 2nd power. So we have division of powers. They have the same basis. So the law says that I can really do this like a to the 7 minus 2. Well, if we do that subtraction, your expression is just going to be a to the 5th. Okay? That's all you have to do. Now, if you get to a problem that has different variables in there, you take them separately. Alright? Remember, the law only works if you have the same basis. So for example, number 2, I have ab to the 3rd and ab to the negative 8. Alright, well, think of them as separate. This is a divided by a, and b to the 3rd divided by b to the 8. Alright, so if I have a to the 1 power over a to the 1 power, that's kind of like saying a to the 0, or a to the 1 minus 1. And if I have b to the 3rd divided by b to the negative 8, it's like saying b to the 3 minus negative 8. Okay. Now, I know what you're saying, Coach, we have that negative exponent. I can move it up to the top of the fraction like before on one of our previous lessons. Don't do that until after you've completed all your laws. Alright, once you've got it looking like this, and we're going to do our subtraction, let's see what we get. We end up with a to the 0 and b to the 3 minus a negative 8, that's really 3 plus 8, which makes b to the 11. Now, after I've done the law, I see this. I see a to the 0 power. Remember, a to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power, cancels out to just 1. And if all I have left is b to the 11th, that's going to be my answer. Alright, let's keep going. Example number 3. Again, I've got 2 letters, or 2 powers with 2 different variables. I have a couple of powers with a as a base and a couple of powers with d as a base. And before I do any work, I do see that I have a 0 exponent. Remember, anytime you see a 0 exponent, it can cancel out. Get rid of it so you don't have to mess with it anymore. So I notice that I have a to the negative 9 over 3 over a to the 3. That's really a to the negative 9 minus 3. Alright, and then I had d to the 10 over d to the 0, but that d to the 0 canceled out. So really all I have left is d to the 10. Now, let's do the subtraction, and we're going to end up with a to the negative 9 minus 3, which is a to the negative 12. And then this guy's going to stay like himself. And if I notice, I have a to the negative 12. That negative exponent's like a bad kid. Put him down there. When you put him down there on the bottom of the fraction, your final answer is going to be d to the 10 over a to the 12. Remember, don't work your negative exponents until you've completed all other laws. Alright, flip your page over. Let's do some more examples. Alright, example number 4 throws in some coefficients. Alright, now remember, coefficients do not work under the laws of exponents because they're regular numbers. They're not the exponent numbers. So if you have 10 divided by 2, just work that out. 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. Okay. X to the third over x squared is going to be x to the 3 minus 2. And then y to the 17 over y to the negative 12 is going to be y to the 17 minus a negative 12. Alright. And once you've got those, we work them out. Alright, once we get to this point, we can finish up with our additions right here, or our subtractions. The 5 is going to stay there as the coefficient. Our new exponent for x is x to the 3 minus 2, which is just x to the 1 power. I don't need to write it. And then y to the 17 minus a negative 12, that's really plus. 17 plus 12 is y to the 29th power. It's okay to have some big exponents, no big deal. Alright. And our last example for this set of notes. We have negative 4 a to the 0 power b to the 6 divided by 24 a to the 5th b to the negative 1. So some things that I can get rid of right now. Right off the bat, I have this a to the 0 power. Alright, I can get rid of it because I know it reduces to 1. Alright? Don't take care of this negative exponent until after we're done. Alright. Don't take care of him until after we've done all of our laws. Now, the first thing I see is I see a couple of coefficients. I've got a negative 4 over 24. Alright, now remember, we are dividing negative 4 divided by 24. Alright? The smaller number is on top of the fraction, you're going to end up with a fraction. So this is going to end up being a negative 1 over 6. Alright? Be sure that you understand how we divide our coefficients. Now, as far as the a's go, all I'm left with, after canceling out that guy, is a to the 5th, and he's down here on bottom. Let's keep him down there on bottom. There's no reason to move him up there. And with the b's, I have b to the 6 divided by b to the minus 1. So that's really going to be b to the 6 minus 1. Excuse me, 6 minus a negative 1. Okay, be sure that you're subtracting those. And if you have something like that, we're going to end up with that b to the 6 minus a negative 1 is really b to the 6 plus 1, which makes 7. So on top of this fraction, I have a negative 1b to the 7. Or could I just put negative b to the 7? No need to write that one. And then on the bottom, I have a 6a to the 5th. Double check and make sure you don't have any negative exponents or zero exponents. And if you don't, you're good to go.